G'day everyone. Look, I don't know if any of you watching this have ever had a sort of a celebrity encounter, but for those of you who have, I've had a couple in my life, and I guess a celebrity is a relative term because so being celebrities these days. I'm a celebrity to to a few people, but not as many as to who other bigger celebrities are celebrities too. You're probably a celebrity to someone too. Everyone's a celebrity today. But what I'm getting at is, if you've ever had an encounter with someone who is very well known, it's hard to sort of control your mannerisms and you sort of fall into certain, I think you just have default modes of operating. I get a bit, I turn into a typical fangirl. And I bring this up because it will be the thumbnail and title. I had a video call this morning with Brandon Sanderson, which is amazing. It's so cool that happened. So for those of you not in the know, I alluded, I think at the end of my last vlog, to a video. Was it my last vlog or was it my Patreon update? That I was working on a video of Sanderson characters from descriptions. So I've done lots of characters from the author's descriptions. A lot of them have been just sort of mixes of different authors and usually based around pop culture because you can put someone from a movie or a TV show in the thumbnail and title and stuff. Like Snape, you can put, Alan Rickman in the thumbnail and be like, it doesn't look like that. Whereas Brandon Sanderson's universe has not been adapted yet. So it's this interesting opportunity because he has a huge following and lots of fans. He has sold over 40 million books. He's a very, very popular, well-known and prolific fantasy author and someone I've been following for many years and read a lot of his books. So I just sort of figured because it all fits under the same umbrella, I'd do the Sanderson edition of that series. And I'd finished it and I've got like pages of sketches of this isn't giving away too much because we did really cool polished digital pieces, but this is my Kaladin and this is, my brain isn't telling me. No, I just had the meeting with the author today. Sonia Duval. Freaking hell, this is embarrassing. Hope he doesn't watch this video. Hang on. Got to log in. Shallan! Wow, that was painful. Oof! Okay. Anyone who clicked on this video because they're a Sanderson fan, I've already lost them. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Yeah, okay, whoops. Do you know the funny thing about Shallan is look, in my defense, it's been about 5 years since I read The Way of Kings. And I've read, I think, 3 or 2.5 of the Stormlight Archive books, but I'm not listening to as many audiobooks as I used to just by virtue of how many directions I'm pulled in these days. So it had been some time and I'd gotten help from my team to find descriptions for the characters. But descriptions for Shallan don't often specifically mention in describing her that she has to cover her left hand with a glove because that's a cultural thing. And it totally escaped me. So I showed Brandon Sanderson my piece of Shallan, who's not wearing a glove on her left hand, which is a big social taboo in his book. And he's like, "Ooh, this is very scandalous." And I was like, "Oh, what? Why?" Because I forgot a major piece of your world building. I'm sorry, sir. Anyway, so I just wanted to let you know that happened. I'll tell you how it happened because it's very funny. And very cool and fortunate how it all came together. So I filmed this video a couple of days ago, like on the Wednesday. I'd finished my pieces. I was quite ambitious. I did 5 characters in a day, which is all I had to film. And I really tried to do my absolute best. What tends to happen is in order to fill the video with as much as I can and be as entertaining as possible, I will take my pieces to about 80% and hand them over to Alicia. So Alicia spent Thursday, Alicia would have done it next week. And what happened was I realized after filming, I'm like, oh, well, Brandon Sanderson's like on social media. Like he's like around. He's pretty connected. So I just thought, you know what? I might see if I can get him on a call to react. I've got 2 weeks till the video comes out. I wonder if that would be really cool, right? So I said to Alicia, I'm going to get you to work on these tomorrow. I actually swapped her days around because I don't know when I'm going to get a call. If I get a call with Brandon Sanderson, I was reasonably confident I could. Like, I think when you have a large following and you have a body of work to point to, for someone who even is as well known as he is on social media, I've got some clout. So I sort of pulled on that a little bit. It's like, hey, I've got a 6 million subscriber channel and I do things for authors, blah, 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 characters from descriptions. Can I get a 15-minute call? So like I pitch it like, I'm doing this big thing and it's all about Brandon Sanderson stuff and I have a large audience. Can I have 15 minutes of his time? Which is, I think, a pretty strong pitch, and it worked. But what's fascinating is I'd asked Alicia to swap her days and she did. So she finished. We had 5 finished characters by the end of yesterday. I start working about 7 in the morning, start checking my emails, and there's a message from like someone on his PR team who's like, okay, look, we can fit him in. It's short notice, but he's leaving for something. I won't, private stuff, but he's going to be unavailable for maybe 2 weeks, but he could do a call in like 2 hours for like half an hour. And I was like, okay, let's do it, And it's so funny because I'd swapped Alicia's time around because I kind of know that's how it works. Like I've had enough to do with very busy people over time to know that usually it goes that way. I can do it now or in a month, So I'm really glad that I sort of followed that instinct because I was like, okay, I'm ready to go. So I came into the studio a little bit early. We threw everything together, did a bit of a tech check and jumped in a call. So I had a call with Brandon Sanderson this morning, showed him 5 characters from 3 books. And it was delightful. It was really fun. He was a gentleman. He was very fun to chat to. And it was particularly fun because he wasn't just like, oh, good job. Clap, clap, clap. I love it. You did great. Like he really clearly has very clear ideas as to what his characters look like. So he was kind and complimentary, but most of them were like, I always pictured it would be a little more like this or that. There were pretty much like 4 out of 5 of them had a tweak, nothing major. And we're actually going to make the tweaks for the video because it's like, well, the author told me what they actually look like. I'm going to make the changes and then I've made the most accurate versions of these characters. So anyways, that's very, very fun. And I'm proud to say one of the characters got no change notes. I was pretty happy about that. Anyway, that's me splurging all of that. But the reason I started the way I started in this vlog is because I think I kept my cool. I think I conducted myself reasonably professionally. I have lights flashing in my brain saying, you seem like a giddy idiot right now. But it's just, it's hard to control. It's just fun. You don't picture yourself in those situations. And I had a similar experience when it was a VidCon in Australia, like 4 or 5 years ago, and MatPat and Steph were among some of the people who were coming internationally. And I'd always been a big fan of MatPat. And we ended up on this, because I was a feature creator as well, they had this private tour of Melbourne street art and stuff. And it's so funny because I do myself a disservice because I was like, oh, hey, MatPat, I really love your content, but that's just a theory. I was that guy. And my wife was like, what are you doing? Meanwhile, she just asked them like normal people questions, like, oh, how did you two meet? And, oh, you studied and this and that. And we met in the theater and they're theater people. And then I'm like going on this tour and I'm like, my wife's having all these great conversations with Matt and Steph because she's talking to them like a normal person. Whereas I was like, ooh. So I guess the moral of the story is chill out. People are people. But the other moral of the story is, hey, sometimes you just get excited and you can't control yourself, and that's who you are, and that's me. So, you know, it is what it is. And if that always means I'm going to be a little bit too geeky or doughy-eyed when I meet people I admire, so be it. I think that's a compliment. I know people are like that with me, and I understand it, you know, so it's just sort of funny. We all have those feelings of not quite knowing how to present herself, and you do your best. But it was very fun. It was a very, very fun call, and really great outcome for that video. That's going to be a really fun one to share. I'm not sure how that will do relative to the other like characters from description videos, because he doesn't have like an actor that I can use in the thumbnail from a movie that the wrong right thing that I've been doing for that series. But I did ask him at the end of the call to do his best thumbnail like reaction face, so I can slap that in the thumbnail, and at the very least I'm hoping I'll be able to grab all of his fans, and he has a lot of fans, so I think it'll be a really fun one for the B-Boy to tune in. Hopefully I don't disappoint too many people. Thanks for watching.